Hey kids, this is Aaron from the podcast That Wouldn't Die, and Kevin and I use Zencastr. You think you're better than us, that you're using something else? You're wrong. Zencastr's the place to be. Who are you to deny it?
It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code DIEHARD and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time for you to share your story.
Only a fool would give up a chance for a 30% discount.
I'd hate to jump the gun, but I think it's time. We're looking at the first proof of life beyond Earth.
You finally a daddy? It's gonna be a big custody battle over this one.
It's beautiful.
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast That Wouldn't Die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
What's up?
This week, we're discussing the science fiction horror classic, Life, starring Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenhaal, Rebecca Ferguson. Is that her name? I always mess up her name. Rebecca Ferguson? Ferguson.
I literally was thinking there was nobody I knew in this movie until you rattled off everybody's name.
Are you serious? What is happening? Sweet Jesus.
I already forgot who was in this movie. I'm like, it was nice that there wasn't a bunch of big name people in it.
Wah, wah. Each week, we discuss guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the horror and sci-fi genres with a comedic twist. Aaron, what's up? What's the latest with you? You're back from abroad.
I am so jet lagged. I had to come home and take an hour nap. I've been up since 3:30. First, I went to bed at 9, woke up at midnight.
Yep.
Put on my Seinfeld for 30 minutes until I fell back to sleep. Woke up at 3:30, put on Seinfeld, and just woke up. I was like, oh, So finally at 4 o'clock started coffee.
What an abomination.
I get to work, and the kids are like, what's wrong with you, miss? I was like, what?
Because you basically took a 2-week spring break.
I went to work. I went to work at 7 o'clock. School doesn't start till 8:30 because, why not? And then I pull up to work and realize I hadn't even brushed my hair. I had a full face of makeup, but I didn't brush my hair or put on lipstick. So that's
pretty standard.
It's all part of the badge. All behind the curtain.
So tell our listeners what you've been up to the last 2 weeks. They don't know it. We've been off for a couple weeks.
It's true. We had spring break, so I was on a river cruise. I flew into Brussels and picked up the ship in Antwerp and took it to Amsterdam, which is all right around each other.
Yeah.
Like by car, it would be an hour, but it takes the boat 6 because of the way it has to drive around. Literally, we're always within like an hour's drive of Amsterdam the whole time. So
right.
It's like little beep, 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 just kind of little night, hour, 2-hour boat rides.
But that's cool.
Nice.
Lots of fun, right? Living the high life.
I've never been on a cruise before, so it was like being on a cruise with a large wedding. There was like under 200 people on the boat.
I've been on cruises before, but I've never been on the riverboat.
Everybody. Yeah, I've never been on the big cruise. I've always been afraid. They seem scary. So there's no casino. There's a bar.
Yeah.
And the boat a lot of times was leaving by like 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock is like the magic time where everybody heads to the bar because dinner starts at 7. So you go to the bar, you have a couple of cocktails, and then at like 6:30 they give you the itinerary for the next day and what wines are being served at dinner, that kind of stuff.
I mean, that's cool with me. Did you sit with the same people at every meal, or was it just different
There's
strangers?
no
Or...
assigned seats.
Okay.
And the way it's set up, there's a seat for everybody. So you're literally going to be sitting with strangers at some point.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And you have to talk to them, and that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, there were a couple times I was over peopled. So there were like 2 nights I just didn't even eat. I had some like snacks in the room, and I was wiped out. I went from just laying on the couch, and now I'm walking 5 miles before lunch.
People don't realize it takes a lot out of you to be as charming as we are. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, there were times I'm like, well, maybe I can go to dinner, but I can't go to cocktail hour. Because I went from I have 2 drinks a month to I'm having 4 drinks a day. So that I could, and then 4 espressos throughout the day because I'm in Europe, so I need to have coffee constantly. So you wake up in the morning, you're just like a dried up cicada. I had like no water because it's cold too. It was cold.
I hear you. I tell people how envious of you I am of you, because you will go on these like adventures around the world. I mean, and you'll go by yourself. You don't give a good goddamn.
Around the world, and I'm leaving again in less than 50 days. Around the world.
You're like James Bond, international man of mystery. For real.
I like to think I'm Joan Wick. How about that?
Joan Wick.
Instead of John Wick.
Yeah. Well, that's fun.
I'm fighting crime, wreaking revenge, staying in youth hostels. Yeah, the next trip is going to be a lot of, it won't be business class, and it's going to be at youth hostels.
Are you going solo again? Or do you have a companion? And where are you going?
No companions, no lovers, no partners. I'm flying into Florence, and then I'm going to take the high-speed rail to Venice. And then from Venice, I'm going to fly to Portugal for a music festival. It's like a 4-day festival. Then I fly back to Florence, and I come home mid-June.
See, my fantasy is to go on like the Orient Express and have to solve a murder. That's kind of what I'm hoping for at some point. But
dude, and I thought they were at one of the talks. They were talking about a mystery cruise. I'm like, yeah,
that'd be cool.
That's what I'm talking about. Right, but that's not what it is. The mystery is you don't know where you're going. Versus there's been a murder.
It's not how to host a murder mystery cruise, is what you're saying.
Dude, I think that would be awesome. Where
totally.
There's clues. The only clue on this ship were exactly which country all the tall 6-foot blonde Eastern European staff was actually which country they were from. It was all a mystery. That was the mystery.
They wouldn't tell you?
Are they Polish? Are they Ukrainian? I don't want to
Swedish?
Get into their biz. But the entire crew, no, it wasn't Swedish. It was all Eastern European.
Okay. Fair enough.
And they were all the women were my height that were servers.
So it's Land of the Giants? Yes. Is that what you're saying? Sweet Jesus.
It's the land of the incredible growing women. Yeah. They're all thin like a razor blade and over 6 feet tall.
That is wild. So the Dohertys would have fit right in.
100%. I was
most of us.
The men were shorter, but they were also all blonde. I don't know what was happening. The captain appeared to be 24 years old and 6'7", and weighed 190.
No, that's where you lose the Doherty comparisons, by the way. 190.
Well, yeah,
sweet Jesus.
They're all trim. In fact, freakishly, I mean, I always heard pilots had to be short, like there was height limits. My pilot for the flight to Brussels, I was right behind him. Also, 22 years old, at least 6'7".
Jesus, something in the
Thin
water.
As a rail, young as a baby. And like he was on his way back to Stockholm or something. But I was like, damn, everybody be looking young.
Everybody looks young to us these days, I'm sad to say.
That is a sad thing to say. Except not on this cruise. I wasn't the youngest, but
Right.
I sure as hell wasn't the oldest. There were probably 6 people younger than me. There were some people, of the 6, I would say 4 were significantly younger than me.
Really?
Everybody
Okay.
else was a minimum of 10 years older than me.
I find at this stage of my life, I want to be on the cruise with the old people. I want a mellow, relaxing environment. I don't need the kids screaming. I don't need the drunk assholes.
No children on this.
Right.
No children, no dogs, no gambling. There was one Russian dude who would sit on the deck and smoke cigarettes because you couldn't smoke inside the ship either. But that was okay because it was about 48 degrees. So you wanted there was no jacuzzi, so no one's sitting on the top of the deck.
Wah wah. Gotta have
Knock yourself out, homie. But everyone, I have to say, was on best behavior. No politics at dinner.
Oh, praise Jesus. Praise Jesus for that.
Now, I didn't hear that. Some of the people that I was talking with, because a lot of the people from the South, so they're chit-chatty. So I talked to people, obviously with people from like Georgia, from Alabama, chit-chatty. And they were saying, they sat with some people. Not only did they discuss politics, they also had a religious thing. So they've been hiding from them the rest of the ship. So
makes sense.
But the people I met were very nice. I told them all the sad story. They're like, you're traveling by yourself. You're so brave. And I told them the sad story of our crazy parents who called me the night before that they were not going and that Dad had not bought the travel insurance. So buy $20,000.
Sweet Jesus.
Dad's like, well, I took a gamble and this time I lost. I'm like, what was the insurance? Like $200?
I don't think he ever buys the insurance.
No.
He thinks it's a scam.
I mean, I don't buy the insurance when I fly to San Francisco for a $200 flight, but a $20,000, not including the airfare, I might think about that.
You might want to consider it, 100%. And on that cheery note, why don't we go reel it back in and give us a 30-second synopsis of Life?
I feel like you're addicted to sci-fi all of a sudden because literally all these movies are the same.
Yep.
People are in space. Something goes wrong. A bunch of people die. They try to give us a twist at the end. Ta-da.
Now, I have to say... Go ahead. Is that your whole thing?
Okay. Jake Gyllenhaal, he was fine. He was like a whatever. He was a one-trick pony. He was just... No, he showed no emotion. He was just very steady Eddie.
Okay.
I found Ryan Reynolds a little distracting for this role. I'm glad he died early. And I like Ryan Reynolds, but this was his attempt at being a serious actor?
Well, here's the thing. They talked about this. This is the same writers of all the Deadpool movies, ironically. So they said that casting Ryan Reynolds was meant to be the Janet Leigh from Psycho thing, where you think he's the big star, the big hero, and he's the first to die. That's what they were going for, a bait and switch.
Like I said, I like Ryan Reynolds, but I think he was miscast. How about that?
Okay. I thought, look, they tried to make him kind of like, that same character, like a George Clooney kind of guy, where he's kind of the arrogant astronaut type, wisecracking guy. He
doesn't have that. He does not have those qualities.
Oh,
he does not have those qualities. He has his place, and I like Ryan Reynolds, but
why do you keep messing up his name? You keep calling him Riles Reynolds or something.
I told you I've been up since 3:30 this morning. I got to work and I was like, I can taste music and I can see sounds. I'm like, they're like, what? I'm like, you're going into a meeting, and I'm like, yeah, let's just hope for the best.
Dude, teaching is the job that if you're like exhausted, don't even go in, because it's the worst job to have if you're exhausted. It is by far the worst
There's
job.
just no way.
Right.
There's just no way that I could put this off onto somebody else, because I only ran one meeting and the other person ran like 4 today.
Right.
So, yikes.
Did you? Now, I shared with you a TikTok video that I kept seeing that reminded me, oh, I have to do life. It was the interview with Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds, where they're promoting the movie Life. And she said, is this your favorite movie because you got to wear socks all the time? Because as astronauts, they basically had, and they both exploded and said, oh my God, 100%. This is the best question, by the way. And they go on effusive about the fact that they could just wear socks and not have to wear shoes. And they were like, and you wear a onesie all day. It was amazing. So they loved it. They loved the experience.
And not a tank top and chonies like our friend Sandy.
100%. Well, again, we talked about on the Gravity episode. Normally, when you have like an astronaut suit, there's an undersuit that you have to wear as well. If you watch Project Hail Mary, which I saw twice in the last couple of weeks, I thought was great, by the way, if you haven't seen Project Hail Mary. He does that.
I don't know anything about it.
Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling is an astronaut trying to save Earth. And he goes up.
Was he still working? God, you haven't heard that name in a long time.
Gosling, Ryan Gosling. Who the hell? Are you serious? Do you ever go to the movies?
What has he done for me lately? So he's in Project Hail Mary or whatever, and then
he was in The Fall Guy a year ago. How about that?
Oh, well, then there you go.
Look,
he's
clearly not a classic, but he works every year. God damn it, Ryan Gosling.
He got those bills to pay.
He's got them bills to pay. So I'm assuming this is your first time you ever saw this movie.
Yes, and I did a bad 30-second review.
Yes, you did.
Astronauts doing experiments with clearly no clear plan or scientific method. Things go awry. People die. The end.
That's not much better. If I'm being honest, it still doesn't tell anybody anything.
I mean, it's the same thing in all these space movies. Did you not notice that? Did you watch the landing today? It was the same ship as in Life and as in the Sandy Bullock movie.
You mean the capsule that splashed down?
Yes. So for all we know, no one's going to be listening to this because the Earth is on the outs as it is right now. You might as well snuggle up with the Borg Queen, because at least you're assimilated at that point.
Hopefully. One can only hope. No, I do say that. Again, in this movie and with the Artemis launch or whatever, the capsule comes down. There's like a flotation aspect. It's not gravity.
It didn't just fill up with water as soon as you open it up, trying to drown all the astronauts.
100%. It's not like dropping a weight into the ocean where it's just going to sink to the bottom like a stone.
If it's going to sink like a stone immediately, why did you need the parachute? Apparently, it's just the lead weight that just goes to the bottom to kill all your astronauts.
If you're literally just going to kill the astronauts, why include a capsule at all? Just let them expire in space. That's all I'm saying. Sweet Jesus. I actually had never seen...
I encourage that line of thought.
I had never seen this movie before.
I have never even heard of it. Never even heard of it.
I remember seeing the ads for it when it was in the theaters, but I didn't see it. So this was literally my first viewing. And I figure, I like these actors. I'll give it a little dance, see what's up. But why don't we jump into the highlights, Aaron? Do you have any highlights at all?
Before we do that, what's our
Please.
preferred Gyllenhaal? Jake or Maggie? I'm gonna say Maggie, but not in Batman.
It sounds well, and that's the issue. It's like people there's a strong Maggie Gyllenhaal camp. You know, that they were happy that Katie Holmes was replaced with Maggie Gyllenhaal. And I do not agree with that. I was like, I want Katie Holmes back. So look, Maggie's fine.
And
I
she's
could-
available to work, I think.
Well, my only thing is like I struggle to sit here and think of a movie that I was like, oh damn, loved Maggie Gyllenhaal in that. Can you hit me with anything? Anything you can think of?
No, because I am a functional zombie
Okay.
at this point in my life. Don't ask me what our parents' name is. I took at least 4 sentences of notes for this movie, and I'm gonna have to just stick with that.
Fair.
And my one complaint. Although I thought the one actor was Idris Elba at the very beginning, and then I was like,
Not
that
Idris
is
Elba.
not Idris Elba.
Not Idris Elba.
I was like, I didn't know about this.
I don't think I'd ever seen him before. He was like the scientist named
No.
Hugh. Hugh was his name, British scientist. And then there was the commander, the Russian commander Kat, who I don't think I'd ever seen before. And then there was the Japanese astronaut who I've seen in other things. He was in like Bullet Train, for example. He was in The Last Samurai.
I love Bullet Train.
Bullet Train is
Love
a
Bullet Train.
treat and a joy as far as I'm concerned.
Dude.
So I honestly, it was like, I had never seen this. I was going in there cold. I knew basically what was coming, and I knew there was some kind of alien organism they were going to have to deal with at some point.
I just didn't understand. They went into space for and then just fucked around. Like there seemed to be nothing scientific going on.
Okay. They had sent a probe
Explain it
to
to
Mars.
me, sir.
Okay, that's how I do it. They said they were in the International Space Station orbiting the Earth, and they had sent a probe to Mars to scoop up soil samples. I don't know how they did that. If the satellite went into the thing and scoops, I don't know. However they did it, it was coming back, but it was going very fast. So they had to have Ryan Reynolds go out in space with a giant mechanical claw hand or something to catch this thing that was coming at him like a bullet, essentially, right? It was
And as we learned, all these things, unless you're in the alien movies, are made out of balsam wood and tissue paper.
100%. Anyway, the scientist dude, because it's weightless, they established that he actually does not have use of his legs, right? He's floating around with like dead legs. But so it's like, this is his preferred, he likes being up there.
And the captain performs physical therapy on him. So first of all, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. You'd never be in space. You'd never be an astronaut. That's not real.
Rebecca Ferguson is not the captain.
How would he be in the Air Force or whatever it is? You have to be in the air.
No, you don't.
You're not going to be in space if you don't. You have to be physically fit. You can't have the captain of the ship performing your physical therapy. Was that her minor in college?
She's
no matter. I don't care if she was the cook. She's still not performing physical therapy on him.
Her job, she was the quarantine officer from the CDC. Now, whether
again, not physical therapist.
So she should
again.
Okay. I don't know what her duties were.
Lovers. This doesn't even make any sense.
She was rubbing some lotion on him a little bit. I can't explain.
It rubs the lotion. Or it gets the hose.
Or it literally gets the hose again. So he's in there and he's digging through the soil samples and he finds a little cell, a little paramecium. Not a phalange. That's something else. Sweet Jesus. And it's frozen, but they add some CO2. They turn up the temperature and it springs to life. And they're like, oh,
and
it's
that
amazing.
was their order, was to dig through the dirt on Mars, look for life, and wake
Yes. Well, I think that was their plan. And they're like, ooh, look at this. They were communicating with the Earth.
Why
on
were
another
they
planet.
sent into space?
To
Why
do
were they
this
in space?
purpose. To study Mars. I don't know.
To study Mars.
Study
to dig
Mars.
around. All right.
So they bring the cell back to life and it starts multiplying. And then something happens. Something strange.
First,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
it does all
Jump
these
in.
little fuzzly wuzzlies, and then no one's taking notes. They're
videotaping everything.
They're petting it in a petri dish
Fair.
and being completely unprofessional.
Ryan Reynolds calls him on that. And he says, hey, stop calling it Calvin. They name it Calvin after Calvin Coolidge Middle School or whatever that they were communicating with on Earth. This is a crazy little blob of cells. It's not your friend. Get it together. Because I guess the scientist was kind of making little mistakes or something. You know, he did something, he vented something or forgot to screw something. It was very strange.
Yes. And that's where things started to go wrong.
Yes.
And the thing of zapping it, you should be just taking notes.
Well, they were trying to
Not
get it to
trying
come
to-
back to
I thought-
life.
Well, it was in a coma state.
Correct.
I feel like they should have let that go for a little while to see if anything would happen organically.
Fair.
I'm not a Scientologist, but apparently I'm more of a one than the people they sent into space.
So it goes from
Once
being
again,
like
you could have got the drillers from Armageddon to handle this because they mastered space in 15 minutes
8 whole
while
weeks.
drunk.
Yeah, it goes from being a little blob to being kind of a starfish looking thing with like kind of I can't even describe it. It's like a starfish, kind of a semi-translucent starfish. So it's like in a weird like coma, and the scientist is like, "Oh, I'm going to wake it up by shocking it with a little cattle prod." And after he shocks a few times, the thing snaps awake, pulls the cattle prod, breaks it, pissed off, and grabs the guy's hand because he's got it through like the rubber gloves. And you see this in like scientist movies all the time, where it's like there's a glass case with these big rubber gloves that you put your hands into, and you can manipulate shit in there. So it's got him by the hand. And of course, whenever you see that, it's going to start squeezing. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Not good.
And I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to add emotion to this thing. Is it lashing out because you've injured it? Because you didn't really put that together. Can we talk about the rat wearing a little jacket?
Yes.
Tied down.
Please do.
24/7.
Yes.
He's just sitting there and bites the starfish, and then it like turns it inside out and eats it.
Yes.
Why is there a rat wearing a little jacket tied down?
I don't think it was wearing a jacket.
The F was that even about?
I-
He's wearing a little outfit with arm and leg holes, and it's chained down. Like what kind of a rat is this?
I'm
Are they gonna feed
thinking
it to the starfish and it's gonna fly around?
I'm thinking that because it's a weightless condition, that they don't want the rat just floating around. So they've got it strapped down. But regardless, that seems cruel to have this thing like...
It seems absolutely cruel. Also, no food or water.
Correct. No,
And little
storm.
McNuggets will be... they're just free shooting in the ship.
That's what I
Rat
mean.
turds
100%.
around in space.
100%.
Ridiculous.
100%. So the scientist...
So
eventually-
really, Mr. McRat was the first casualty of the chocolate starfish.
Not the chocolate starfish. That is different. No, it was really kind of gross because the scientist basically passes out because his hand's getting squished, and literally his hand drifts out of the glove, and you can see his hand's basically just a water balloon. now. Like every
Yes.
bone in his hand has been just pulverized. So it's just like, ugh. So
You'd be crying for weeks, and literally they bandage him up and give him an oxy, and he's good to go.
no, you're
Now I
chopping
got no
off.
legs and one arm.
I'm down to one limb is what I'm left with. Right. No, I mean, you're right. They bandage his hand up. I don't know what you're going to do with that. What the purpose? His hand is literally ground beef. He's not using that hand. The hand's got to go. That's neither here nor there. But this is where they start dealing with the kind of quarantine type situation because the doctor's getting his hand squished. And Jake Gyllenhaal, who's another doctor, is like, God damn it, go in here and save him. And the quarantine doctor, Rebecca Ferguson, is like, hey, no, can't go in there. Can't go in there. This is the rule. This is the rule. No can do. Eventually, the little starfish is just crawling around in its cage, and the doctor's kind of floating around with his fucked up hand. And Ryan Reynolds opens the door, grabs the doctor as slow as he possibly can, and starts floating him out the door. Meanwhile, the starfish is taking the broken little shocker thing, which has a sharp point, and uses it to cut a hole through the rubber glove and slips right out. And now it's wrapping itself around Ryan Reynolds.
It has such knowledge based on what?
This is going to be a reoccurring question that we have because they establish it's smart. But what does that mean? Smart like what? Like a chimp or like Albert Einstein? What are we talking about? You know what I mean? Because there's a part in this movie where now how the fuck did this starfish know to do that? There's going to be a lot of moments like
everything. It knows that it can drink coolant, even though the atmosphere that brought it to life was Earth's atmosphere. But coolant is poison for the humans, but it's delicious for the translucent starfish.
This is a thing. This is a question because there's times where they're like, well, like all living creatures, it needs air. That thing is out in space, flopping around for far too long, seeming with no ill effects. Yeah. So we're going to talk about
whatever conditions they describe for us, in the end, didn't really apply. What is it eating? It's only eating coolant because it's not eating the people. It's not eating the things it's killing.
Well, it's unclear. It definitely ate because after it broke the dude's hand, it kind of slithered over, and like you said, it like an amoeba. It absorbed the rat. And
yet you got these vast warehouses of the dead that they could be getting all the nutrients out. They could be sucking them dry, and this thing could be as big as the space station.
Well, later in the movie, they've now locked Ryan Reynolds into the room, and Ryan Reynolds is trying to burn the thing with like a flamethrower or something, and yet nothing seems to get burned. Right?
Even nothing gets burned, and you're almost out of fuel. How about you back yourself up to the hatch with the flamethrower that isn't working, but we're going to still keep doing it, even though it doesn't work, even though the entire movie we're going to keep trying to burn it, even though that doesn't do anything. He could have backed himself up and slipped out free and just left him in the lab.
Well, and little known fact, you don't want to have open flames in oxygen-rich environments. That's not great.
Is that a fact? It doesn't matter to this thing at all. I just assume if it was alone, they could turn off life support or whatever, deprive it of oxygen.
They try that a few times, but again, later in the movie,
it was loose as a goose because now it memorized the entire ship. Now it's a superhero.
Right, 100%. So they've locked Ryan Reynolds in there. He's been incapable of even injuring the thing. And the thing climbs up on Ryan Reynolds and goes right into his mouth, down the hatch, and glug, glug, glug. So it's unclear, but it seems like
Why couldn't he bite it?
Just start chewing on it?
It's like those movies where they throw the cat at you and you're unable to fight away the cat that
Can't fight him.
Someone offset just threw at you. Same thing with the translucent jellyfish.
Yep.
You try to take a bite out of that or something, might not like it. I mean, if
You might as
something's trying to
well.
go down my hatch, I'm going to use those chompers.
That's good
and do what I
advice,
can.
frankly, under any circumstances.
Do some
Uh,
Cinnabite things.
So it's down in his stomach, and then he's not doing so well. And you see, and then blood starts coming out of Ryan Reynolds' mouth. And like a few minutes later, it now crawls out, and it's much bigger and has like tentacles and shit now. So it would seem to suggest that it was eating some stuff inside of Ryan Reynolds. But
Well,
who the hell
then he
knows?
needs to go finish it off. I want him to be, finished. Because why is it then still looking for food when clearly there's still food waiting for you there?
Well, they say something along the lines of that it doesn't hate them, but it needs to kill them. Because I guess in reaction to getting shocked, the guy shocking it pissed it off. And so now it views the people as threats. So now it needs to kill them, I think.
Well, it killed the rat when the rat bit it,
Yes.
but
Are we figuring this
I
out?
mean,
Unclear.
who knows? So the blob was able to master everything but language.
Yes. It does not have vocal cords. As far as we
No,
know.
but it had control of the computers and it had control of everything else. I feel like
Did it have control? I mean, I know. Look, it escapes through like the fire suppression system or whatever, the sprinkler system.
it turned off communication. It did all kinds of stuff.
Well, that's the thing. It didn't turn it off so much as it drank up all the cool. It was trying to drink all the water, basically, and it drank all the coolant. So then the communication systems overheated, and that's why the astronaut Cat from Russia had to swim over there. And I kept thinking to myself, there's no way she's going to open that thing and the creature's going to be in there. Because the easiest thing in the world would be just cut her loose and then the monster's floating out into space and then that's the end of the story. But didn't seem to make any difference.
Didn't make any difference. It came right back inside.
Well, and that was the other thing. It was, go ahead.
And yet, the dude who went into the sleep pod, he couldn't get in there. But he can get into the ship. Just can't get into the sleep pods.
And I don't think they have those in outer space where it's literally like some future, like from Alien. This is supposed to be like modern day, isn't it? Or am I crazy?
It's modern day-ish. Yeah, I think they just Velcro themselves up somewhere.
Right. I think you just strap yourself to the wall. I don't think there's like a lowering down like it's going to cryo sleep.
How about the weird scene where they were sitting at a table with chairs? That didn't make any sense.
Fair. That's a good point.
Clearly, their butts were not on that. And you wouldn't eat food that required a table on top of that.
You wouldn't have like a coffee mug, right? Because then you try to drink that and it's hot coffee floating around, burning people. It would be a goddamn nightmare.
You're eating a bunch of crap out of a tube.
Yes. You'd have to do it that way. 100%.
Yes. Well, especially with all the rat turds that are floating around inside there.
Those aren't campers.
Those drifted in.
sad but true. Sad but true. One particularly crazy scene is the one scientist is sitting there and they're trying to, like, I don't know, seal the creature in this area. I'm sealing in the creature that area. And then the dude just dies. I'm dying. And they check him. They're like trying to shock him. And then they see like his leg is moving. So they lift it. And of course, the creature's been chewing on the dude's leg. But the guy, he can't feel his leg, so he didn't notice.
From? I started thinking there was more than one.
No.
Like he got infected in there. But I was like, where did that come from?
Correct.
How
That's
did it
unclear.
attach to his leg?
Unclear.
Yeah, that's very unclear. That's bullshit. I was like, okay, so there's two. Well, where's the other one? Oh, never mentioned again.
So they say the creature needs oxygen to survive, even though when they woke it up, they actually were giving it more CO2 to make it come to life. And then Again, it is in space. No living creature can survive in space just swimming around out there. Right? For a variety of reasons.
No one can hear you scream.
Clearly. Later, they're like, oh my God, the ISS, the International Space Station, is going to like literally go in through, what is it, burning in through the atmosphere. Oh, we can't let that because then the creature could survive. If that creature could survive the atmosphere, then what are we doing? Then there's nothing we can do. Right. If it's not going to burn up in the atmosphere, then this thing we can't defeat it anyway. So we might as well just put a gun in our mouth at that stage of the game. So, who knows?
Funny as it turns out. So the other ship only docked just to ram it, to push it out.
Correct. The Soyuz, which was also a ship mentioned in the Gravity movie, it comes in there. You're right. It's not a rescue mission because this was the quarantine procedures that Rebecca Ferguson came up with that everyone agreed to.
You would think everyone would know. But in every one of these movies where there's an alien, they always break protocol.
Correct.
Which always leads to everyone's death.
100%. 100%. Well, they say the first level is just the little box, the glass case. That's the first level of quarantine. Then it's the lab is the second level. The third level is the space station itself, essentially. Right. And if that doesn't work, basically the Soyuz spacecraft attaches, and its goal is to literally just push the space station just out into space, and then that'll be that. C'est la vie. But of course, all the humans f*** it up, right?
Of course.
They're like, oh, it must be a rescue mission. So even though the creature, like the octopus creature swimming towards me, I'm going to open up the thing and let them attack the other innocent astronauts. Just try to go about their lives. So
they literally said it goes dormant when it gets cold.
Yes.
But no one bothers to try that. They're sitting there freezing to death at the end.
Yes.
But no one can figure out that maybe we got to do the opposite. Stop trying to burn something who doesn't give a shit if you burn it.
Right. That we've now established that heat doesn't seem to bother it even a little bit. So
no.
I don't know. I can't explain it. Do you want to talk about the shocking end to this movie?
Was it shocking, or the minute it landed, when the fisherman went over, you knew immediately what had happened?
Well, but by then we knew. But the plan was that Jake Gyllenhaal, who is kind of a depressed former, soldier doctor who was unhappy with life on Earth, he's just like, you know what? I want to stay up here with the stars.
He's Sandra Bullock from the other movie.
He says, I will lead the creature onto one of the escape pods, and I'll counteract the autopilot that has us land on Earth, and I'll just shoot me and the alien into space. You can go take the other pod, and you can go to Earth, and you're good to go. How about that? So that's the plan.
Literally, this shit is all being tracked down on Earth.
Correct.
So I would have assumed that whatever came through the atmosphere is being tracked and would have been like nuked.
Right? Because somebody on Earth knew that shit had gone wrong. So they sent that other spacecraft to just push it into space. Right. 100%.
And they would have known that went wrong.
Right. Shoot some Patriot missiles up at it, right? Let's do this.
Yes.
A Scud or something.
Hell yes.
So they agree this is the plan. Jake Gyllenhaal coaxes the creature into his capsule. He closes it up. He's like, let's go. He starts grabbing the remote. Rebecca Ferguson is in her capsule. She's getting ready to go into Earth. Then some malarkey. There's some space junk hits both of the ships, sends Rebecca Ferguson out into space. She can't control it because she's not a pilot. She does her best. Nope. She's going off into space to die alone and miserable. Jake Gyllenhaal's trying to control the shit, but the goddamn alien tentacle grabs the stick because, again, it knows everything.
No, it knows. It knows everything.
It knows how to fly the ship and guides the shit down onto Earth. So it ends with Rebecca Ferguson screaming as she goes off into space to die. Jake Gyllenhaal splashes down in Vietnam, and some people come up and like multiple like boats start coming up. Jake Gyllenhaal's going, "No, don't open it. Hey, don't open." But of course they're in Vietnam. They don't speak English. And they start opening the shit. I guess just boat people in Vietnam understand the workings of the hatch. So that's good to know. Good stuff. Even though you can look through the window and see alien shit everywhere. There's like slime and tentacle.
Pass. I don't even know what that was all around him. It looked literally like something like Alien. Remember in Alien, you saw like the skeletal, it's all that Geiger stuff of these giants that were all like tentacled out and now like stone or something. That's what it looked like.
And the
thing
thing
is, like a Geiger bar you can go to in like Eastern Europe.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
All pimped out.
Germany, I think, is where
next to a hostel.
The red light district. This movie, the thing about it, the alien though, is it's different than the aliens you see in like the alien movies where people are getting impregnated and it's like, oh my God, there's, they reproduce exponentially. It's not like The Thing. Right. So it's like, it's unclear how big of a deal. I mean, granted, it's an evil alien on Earth, but it's not like, I almost think there should have been a scene where the scientists are like, we can't let this thing get to Earth because it does. Look at these projections. It'll eat everybody on Earth in 6 weeks. Give me something like that. Otherwise, it's just
no projections. They would have to be doing sciencey stuff versus let's just poke it. Look, it's my pet. Look, it follows my finger.
Let's just poke
science. That's why I got my doctorate in poking shit in a petri dish.
That's why his hand is freaking busted water balloon.
Like liquefied.
It was literally liquefied.
One thing I did like. Please. I was down with the little alien creature, but at the end they decided, you know what, it really needs a face, and that's where it fell apart.
I don't disagree with that.
It doesn't need a face.
Right.
I thought the face was added on later. It felt like it was added on later. Fair. And it was really more, it was more of a distraction. It was more of a, I don't need it to look at me. It's menacing as it was.
No, I agree. The weird head that eventually appeared was like whatever. I like it. I like the giant starfish with tentacles. That's all I need.
Dude, it was Cthulhu. It's the Song of Cthulhu, and this is the origin story.
The Song of Cthulhu.
Whatever. I mean, I appreciated that it was not a humanoid kind of creature. So why you got to give it a head? Starfish don't have it. Is it an octopus or is it a starfish?
Unclear.
They don't know.
Yeah, pseudopods and shit. Could be anything.
It doesn't need to have a little crazy smiling face. That was stupid.
What did you think about the non-Hollywood ending? Oh, take a minute.
I mean, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought you would.
I would have liked to have that to be more of a surprise, though.
Right. I mean, I guess by the time you see her flying off into space and he splashes down, you know who's who, right? Could it have been like a grand reveal?
It could have been, we see him in the window and then cut to her spitting out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look in the window. I
already sensed there was a twist.
Yeah. Right. That was it. I actually have to say, the only thing I knew about the movie was the twist. It was one of those things where the most shocking horror movie moments in, Amazon Prime or whatever it is. So I knew how it ended, and that kind of made me go, "Ooh, well, now I have to watch it." So sometimes
Right,
I know
because
too
that's
much.
the ending we wanted in the Sandra Bullock, where reality she swims to shore and George Clooney's waiting for her on the shore, and they walk off hand in hand, and then you
To the
realize,
pearly gates, where St. Peter's
exactly. I would
standing
have
there.
preferred that ending.
100%. That'd be good stuff. Anything else about this, or should we go behind the scenes?
I just thought that the people that were the most famous did the least in the story.
Well, who did the most? Just the
I just
creature.
thought the other people. No, I just thought all the people who died did better jobs.
Are you talking about
Because
performance?
Ryan
or...
Reynolds, yes, performance wise, I mean, Ryan Reynolds is dead in 5 minutes, so then it's just one note Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh,
There's
poor
no
Jakey.
range of motion. Poor Jakey. Get
Taking
outta here.
shots.
I'm stating truths.
Fair.
He's really, there's no arc. He's just this kind of a flat level. Everybody else is like, there's horror, there's sadness, there's a story, and he has like very little story, and there's not really much range in the old emotion in his character.
Well, they established that he'd been up in space for like 450 days, and his body was having like negative effects to that. And he said the reason why I like being up here because the world is kind of a ugly, dangerous place, and I love the peace and looking out the window and having a good old time.
It is like a quote from the Sandra Bullock movie.
It was.
It is literally like the same freaking thing. So how original.
Fair enough.
How about you just go in your house and close the door and don't turn on the TV?
How about you just go hang yourself in the garage? Just be done.
Well, funny. It all worked out best for him anyway.
Let's go behind the scenes, shall we?
Let's.
Rebecca Ferguson originally turned.
I have another complaint. Hang on.
Okay.
They're freezing to death, but you don't see their breath.
Didn't we see their breath? I don't remember.
No.
Okay.
No.
Fair
I
enough.
made a note.
You made a note. Fair enough. They were cold.
Yeah.
I kept thinking, if you're about to die in outer space, would you just have sex and just be done with it? Because they had a kind of a sweet moment touching each other's face.
I mean, honestly, I thought about that too. I'm like, sounds exhausting though.
I'm sure it's freaking freezing, but do a little shared bodily warmth. That's all I'm saying. They're attractive
There you
people.
go.
Anyway.
I don't even know how you do that in space. I feel like somebody has to be stationary. Yeah.
That's true.
These are questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, 100%.
How would you do that in space? Interesting.
You'd have to strap yourself
Barbarella
to something.
did it.
She did.
An angel doesn't make love. An angel is love.
Is love. That's true. I've heard it said. Rebecca Ferguson originally turned down the part of Dr. Miranda North, the British quarantine officer, as she thought she would not live up to the standards of the movie. She expressed her anxiety and fear to the producer, who advised her to talk to Daniel Espinosa, the director, whose philosophy and ideas for the film impressed her enough to change her mind and take part in the movie. How about
all
that?
the supporting actors did a solid job. I have no complaints for them.
I thought the acting was fine all the way through. I mean, look, Ryan Reynolds.
You're obsessed with Ryan Reynolds.
With who? What's his name?
You're obsessed with Ryan Reynolds.
I used to be. To emulate the lack of gravity, the actors were all suspended on wires that were later digitally removed.
Oh, you mean it wasn't all CGI?
It wasn't all
CGI. 6
years.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, with the same effect.
Let's see. International Space Station is co-owned and managed by 15 nations and is the most expensive man-made structure ever built. That's just trivia about this International Space Station, I guess.
And you would think it would look like the ship from 2001, but in reality, it literally, or like the Death Star or something. But in reality, it looks like it's put together with masking tape and aluminum foil.
That's how they do it. That's the real way. Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal were already close friends when they made this film. How
Oh, I'm
about that?
sure.
Some fans were upset that Rory, played by Canadian actor Ryan Reynolds, is wearing a U.S. flag and talking about his pride as an American.
That is upsetting.
It's very upsetting. Well, Rebecca Ferguson, not British. She's Swedish. So where's her Swedish flag? How about that? No, people were very upset. They're all Canadian. There are Canadian astronauts too, damn it. Why couldn't he be Canadian? These are questions. I don't know the answer.
These are questions that need no answers.
The ISS receives a new shuttle or spacecraft arrival more than once per year, with each trip costing over $1 billion. How about that?
Do we still have shuttles?
We do.
I thought they hung that shit up after they keep popping and costing $1 trillion.
Maybe they shouldn't. The alarm that sounds is used as the action station's klaxon from Battlestar Galactica. How about that?
I love that. I love Battlestar Galactica.
This might be the 2004 version, though. I have to.
No,
I know
there were no Cylons.
There's a scene where we talked about it. Ryan Reynolds is killed by the creature. Originally, they had a different, like a model that was supposed to be the dead Ryan Reynolds, like, partially consumed or whatever by the creature. And it was just too gruesome to use. So instead they went back to...
that's what I kept waiting when it crawled back inside Ryan Reynolds. I was waiting for it to like take over it. That would have been interesting.
They said it was so upsetting and so gruesome.
They're like, Ryan Reynolds. It's so not Ryan Reynolds.
We can't do it.
Ryan Reynolds. No, that would have been better. That would have been better.
They said can't do it. It's upsetting. So instead they just had Ryan.
You know what?
Ryan
it looks
Reynolds.
like the bug from the original Men in Black. How it didn't line up and it was all sloppy.
It did.
Good.
100%. Let's see. I think. Oh, the film was on the short list for Academy Awards for Best Visual Effects, but was not nominated. So then, what short list was it on? Goddamn liars!
Then it wasn't on a short list. How short's the list? 400 films.
It was on the long list. Evidently,
it was made that year. Is that the list?
Let's talk about the cast and crew, shall we?
All right.
Directed by Daniel Espinosa. You know him for such things as Morbius in 2022. How about that? That's something.
Didn't see it.
It
is something.
Something called Easy Money in 2010. Not familiar.
Oh, not Easy Money with Rodney Dangerfield.
Classic.
I do love Easy Money. That's a classic.
Absolutely. He directed.
I want to easy money.
That was Billy
Sing
Joel.
It to me, Billy. Yeah.
He directed Safe House in 2012 with Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds. You'll be shocked to know.
Oh, Jesus.
And of course, he directed Life in 2017. And I always have to tell people there was a different movie called Life that came out in the late 90s with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence where they go to prison for life. This is not that movie, in case there's any confusion. Let's see. The writers, I talked about this. Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick wrote it together. And you know them. They directed basically all of the Deadpool movies. Deadpool 2016.
And I enjoyed Deadpool. But Ryan Reynolds can't help being Ryan Reynolds.
Fair.
I like Ryan Reynolds. But it doesn't necessarily go everywhere.
I used to like him more, and I find I like him less. I've seen
because it doesn't change.
Right.
It doesn't change even with the role.
Yeah, true. They wrote
Judgment at Nuremberg, starring Ryan Reynolds.
Fair.
You know, he'll be like staring at the screen, making crazy faces at some point.
They also
When
wrote
Rudolph Hess is testifying.
Deadpool and Wolverine, Deadpool 2, and they also wrote Zombieland. If you ever saw Zombieland. I enjoyed
I did
Zombieland.
see Zombieland. Yeah.
It's fun. They're never as funny as I'd like them to be, but they're funny adjacent. How about that?
They're funny adjacent.
Jake Gyllenhaal played Dr. David Jordan. You know him from such things as Nightcrawler in 2014. He was in Brokeback Mountain in 2005. He was in Donnie Darko 2001.
People love that movie, and I have watched it twice and cannot get into it.
Shrug emoji. He was in Prisoners in 2013.
Unfamiliar.
Other things he did Zodiac. He was in.
Did see Zodiac.
He was Billy Crystal's son in City Slickers. If you go back and watch that movie, he's in like 2 scenes. So there you go.
I mean, I enjoyed City Slickers back in the day.
I did too. Rebecca Ferguson played Dr. Miranda North of the CDC. You know her from The Greatest Showman.
I thought she was great.
She was good.
Yeah, it's all this Hugh Jackman spectaculars. You know how I feel about that.
I didn't care for The Greatest Showman. She was in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible Fallout, Dune Part 1.
I don't even know which Mission Impossible I've even seen. I don't even care anymore. I did see. Oh yeah, from Dune. I'm not going to see any more Dunes. Now it's going to be episode 17 is coming out. I mean, who gives a
She was Lady Jessica Atreides. She was Duke Leto's concubine.
She was solid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's
good. Was solid.
We've actually done another movie with her in it. Do you remember what it is?
Dune Part 2?
Dr. Sleep.
Oh, yeah. She's the hat. Whatever the hat.
Hilda the Hat or whatever her name was. Yeah.
Dude, that was Disturbo. No, I like her. She's good.
Ryan Reynolds played Rory Adams. You know him from such things as Deadpool 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, and something called Buried, where he's buried alive. How about that?
And yet he dug himself up. All right.
Fair. I want to talk about Hiroyuki Sanada, played Sho Murakami.
Wasn't he just in that movie, the train? Was he in the train movie?
The one we talked about?
The one with the one we talked about with
he's in Bullet Train. No, he is not in
Bullet Train.
He's not in Snowpiercer. He's not in
Snowpiercer. Oh, okay.
He was in Twilight Samurai in 2002. He was in 10 episodes of Shogun in 2024, the new Shogun. He was in something called Sunshine in 2007. He was in The Wolverine in 2013. A ton of stuff. John Wick Chapter 4. No, he's not.
Oh, wait, John Wick. Here we go. Boom.
John Wick Chapter 4, Bullet Train. He's in 4 episodes of Westworld. Also,
I did see Westworld too. Whatever happened to Westworld? It just went away.
Just went away, I guess. Let's talk about the rating, shall we?
Let's go. On
Rotten Tomatoes, Life from 2017 currently has 67% fresh.
That's interesting.
Do you know what the audience gave it?
78.
55. Boom! Look at that. Are you going to defend this,
dude? I am going to defend it.
That seems low.
The reason it seems very low. I think the reason is you can't take it seriously with Ryan Reynolds in it. And the two big leads, the two big male leads, are just not right. They wanted 2 big names for this.
Let's talk to the top critic, shall we?
Let's go.
Leonard Maltin. Life will give moviegoers the tremors and jolts they desire, as it adds a notch to the resume, good lord, it's a misspelling, of its writer and directors. But truth be told, it remains in the shadow of Alien, a tough movie to top, let alone equal. How about that? That's actually a positive review.
I mean, well, that's positive.
I know. David Sims from The Atlantic says, if you're looking for a competent Alien knockoff or just a way to kill a couple of hours, you could do far worse. How about that? Also a positive review.
Wow.
Amy Nicholson from MTV says, we too are just a collection of cells, and Espinosa plays our nervous system like a flamenco guitar in concert with head-pounding drums and nauseous trombones.
What the hell? People just put words together and call it a review.
That's a positive review. Let's talk to our in-house movie critic, AI Rex Reed. Are you ready?
Go.
Life is a grim little alien knockoff where a group of overqualified astronauts, including Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds, get picked off by a murderous space calamari that shows more personality than the screenplay. How about that?
It does have more personality. Giving it a face detracted from it. The
Fair.
two male leads detracted from it. I thought the rest of it was entertaining. I thought it was more entertaining than the Sandra Bullock movie, quite frankly.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
I didn't like it at all. So it's if you can do anything that and it had a similar visual without costing more than for the amount of money the Sandra Bullock film cost.
Mm-hmm.
They could have like cured diseases in third world countries. Whereas here they didn't spend all that CGI money and it had a similar effect.
Fair. So what is your rating? Damn it.
All right. It is not a 4, but it is not a 3. It's definitely not a 3.
I
but
agree.
It's not a 4. So I'm going to give it a 3.80. I thought it was effective, even with my complaints. I was curious to see how it was going to go. I mean, we know, of course, they're going to break quarantine immediately because you're in space.
Mm-hmm.
Two things are going on. You're stranded and you have to figure out how to live by yourself, or there's a monster. and you have to figure out how to defeat it. There's two things that happen in space. So honestly, I thought it was effective.
Mm-hmm.
It was nerve-wracking. I mean, of course, it wasn't as tense as Alien.
No.
But we don't need to be that tense. That was one of the most disturbing films I ever saw in my life when I was a child. But yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.80. I thought it was good.
And you went into this absolutely cold. You had no idea what it was about at all. Sometimes it's the best way to do it, right? No expectations.
Exactly.
Like I said, I basically knew what it was about, but I didn't know all the beats. I agree with you. I think it's pretty good. I would say pretty good. Yeah. I would say maybe it was entertaining. I liked the ending. I thought the creature for the most part was freaky and scary. When the dude's hand was getting squished, I was like, "Ee."
Dude,
yeah,
crunching that up, yeah,
crunching. So I probably give it like a 3.75. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good. It was entertaining.
Yeah,
and like 100%. I said, the supporting actors were bringing it.
They were. Even the dude's like crazy legs. I kept Googling. I'm like, I wonder if he's actually like a paraplegic or anything. I don't think he is. I think they use effects for his legs.
They use CGI to give him skinny legs.
Give him skinny legs. So I would say,
chicken leg.
If you stumble across it, I would say check it out. You know, you don't need to spend $5 to rent it or anything. But if you happen to see it, I would say check it out.
Exactly.
If you happen to see it, I would say check it out. That is the most worthless instruction ever.
If you watching it, You don't have to turn it away.
If you're halfway through it, you don't need to turn away from the screen.
Just keep going.
Just keep going. You might as well just keep going at that point. So, thank you very much. You can come and watch us all over the social media landscape. We're on Threads, we're on Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram. You can email us, the podcast that wouldn't die at Gmail. We're on YouTube. You can check that out. It's a simulcast. You can listen to us or you can watch us, see our smiling faces, our reactions.
First of all, it is not a simulcast. It's not a simulcast.
Fair. It's not live. But anyway, it's the same show.
Lies.
God damn it. It's the same show. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So don't forget to like, share, rate, and review, won't you?
Won't you please?
Aaron, what is your social media situation?
I have some media. I am on the gram. I am the cultivator and join the cult. I have artwork on First Dibs and Artsy, Instant Dreams Gallery. Yeah, go buy some art.
Beautiful. Check out all that good stuff. As you know, we like to check in on our friends and family across the social media landscape. Aaron, what are the streets saying?
In regards to our episode on frailty, Eric Duncan 786, such a fabulous film. Charles D. Taylor, Frailty is just a prequel to Supernatural.
Yep.
Genevieve Murray says, I love this movie. Johnny Nemec, great movie, one of the favorites. No, it's NEMEC.
Okay.
Ant 1010-220. I saw this in theaters. I had to sit between two big guys while my family sat in the front. Ha! I don't know what that means. And TikTok has said I violated community guidelines by showing the trailer for The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Those sons of bitches. I'm tired of the bullshit.
explanation.
Don't like them
Meanwhile,
anymore.
TikTok is filled with fake news and a bunch of AI bullshit, and they're free to do it. But you post a trailer for a movie you're reviewing with no recourse. So it's 2 strikes and you're out for life.
For reals? So you're hanging on by your fingernails. Sweet Jesus.
For the tips. Apparently I can go to some kind of like driving school and my points can be reduced, but that seems insane. Where are my Chinese overlords? Ever since Trump's people took over TikTok, it's not as fun and it's very punished.
I don't like that. I mean, half the battles we're fighting is for our crazy WTF videos. I don't like that. That upsets me.
And this wasn't even a WTF video.
I know. It's a thing. Next week, we're discussing the horror classic. I've never heard of this movie in my life. This was one of Aaron's choices. It's called Don't Knock Twice from 2017. Same year as Life. So there you go. So there's that connection. It's with Katie Sackhoff, who you might remember from the new Battlestar Galactica, ironically. She played Starbuck. How about that?
How about half that cast was also part of the NXIVM cult? Woo!
Is that true?
It was the Smallville. Battlestar Galactica ladies. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I just watched another documentary on it.
And Lucy Boynton, who was in a different movie that we reviewed this year. Do you remember what she was from? The daughter?
Is she the big-eyed lady?
The big-eyed lady.
No, wait a minute. Oh, she was in the Black Coat's Daughter.
Very good. There it is. Yeah, she was in the Black Coat's Daughter. So and I like her. So she's good.
And that was a little treat. This was recommended by someone at my Polaroid convention.
Okay. Well, there you go. How do you where can you watch Black Coat's Daughter? Where can you watch Don't Knock Now? What the hell's the name of the movie called? God damn it.
Don't knock twice.
Don't Knock Twice. You can watch it on Fubo, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, Canopy,
Yeah.
Sundance
Basically,
Network,
to cover
Philo.
this week, I had to subscribe to different channels, and I have to remember to drop my free 7 days.
Yeah.
Everything costs a fortune. Everything is on some bullshit. It says it's on Prime that I'm paying, I don't know, $700 a month for. But in reality, it's it's a subscription. A subscription on top of the subscription you're already paid for.
Correct.
You rat bastard.
I did the 7-day
Jesus.
trial on Sundance Network to watch Don't Knock Twice, which I know I'm going to mess up that title at least 100 more times. In any case, watch it. You can also pay just $2.99 to rent it, Prime, Fandango, Apple TV.
That was not an option. That was not an option when I was on Prime.
Those sons
The
of
only option
bitches.
they gave me was the 7-day AMC Plus,
Those
F
bastards.
off, whatever.
Anywho, watch it. Send in your favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, and questions, and we may talk about it on the show. So, thank you very much, and be well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone has ever done for me.